Hello and welcome to the video game book club. Last month? I don't know. Oh, I'm savvy.
I'm Elise.
I forgot that do we have to say that? Is that
Sometimes
part
you
of the
get
rules?
new listeners, so it's
good to know our names.
Yeah.
It'll never be brought up.
Especially if you weren't here for the Elden Ring of it all.
Yeah, the Elden Ring of it all. So we read, I think this is our first manga.
It is our first manga, yes.
We read Elden Ring, The Road to the Erdtree, which is the manga adaptation in a way, more like manga parody.
It is satire. It is a spin.
Elden Ring, yeah. It looks serious on the cover, and they also picked very serious photos on the back, so they trick you. But they give you the warning when you read the synopsis. So, what is the synopsis? I have it on the back. I have the book.
Okay. The story. Well, it also doesn't list an author, but
it's just the artist.
It's an original story by Elden Ring from Software Inc. The art is by, I'll let you pronounce that.
Nikichi
Tobita?
Tobita. Probably messed up.
Nikichi? Art is really nice, by the way.
It is really nice.
The epic and foreboding world of the award-winning video game Elden Ring gets turned on its head in this absurd comedy adventure. Follow Aseo?
Aseo, yeah.
Aseo. What does that mean?
I don't remember.
Is that a thing?
I think that is a thing.
The Tarnished, as he begins his journey through the lands between the long, long road to becoming the next Elden Lord. What Aseo lacks in strength, speed, intelligence, charisma, skill, experience, intuition, and common sense, he makes up for in
nothing.
And that's the end.
So it's kind of like, obviously, because you're playing the character in Elden Ring, and you make your custom character, they had to do something about that. So they just picked kind of just a dorky guy, the everyman, saying the stuff that you probably said during your playthrough, did the stuff that you probably did during your playthrough, if you are indeed a dorky guy.
Like Sokka from Avatar is your main character.
So, this is just volume 1. I don't know how many volumes are going to be. I think they're still coming out.
The cover, obviously it says Elden Ring Road to the Erdtree.
Oh wait, they have something in the back. Oh no, that's just translation. Translation, John Neal. Lettering, Phil Christie. Just so you know.
Cover has a lady who has...
That's Melina.
One eye, Melly. One eye closed with a...
You know if you know.
Oh, it's a limb? It's like a limb on her face.
I don't actually know
what's on her right there. Like a tree branch.
Probably is.
Or like
the Erdtree thing going on here.
Like a bird hand. And then you have a dude in armor, which we will not see in this volume.
It's an actual armor set from the game. Somebody told me that. That was their armor set. And I was like, oh, okay.
And then there is a castle behind him.
Probably Stormveil Castle.
Yes.
With the Erdtree in the background too.
Volume 1 is divided into 9 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
What is your experience with Elden Ring? Because I have none.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this forever. I got caught up in the
hype.
The hype. I really did. Everyone was talking about it online, and I was like, well, I got to know. So I spent full price on this game, and at first I hated it. But then I got to a point where the people in the game were telling you, like, this whole game is about people telling you that you're never going to beat this game. Basically, all the NPCs are like, you're never going to beat this game.
It's because it's forever
too
freaking
hard.
long.
You're going to give up, like, all the other Tarnished, and you're not going to see the light anymore, and you're not going to do it. You're not going to become Elden Lord. You're a freaking loser. And I was like, I will show you. And so I spent the entire year.
If you want Savi to do anything, tell her she can't do it.
Out of spite for these NPCs. I spent the entire year grinding and playing it until I finally beat it at the end of the year in December. I think this came out like March. In December, right before the Game Awards. And then I physically went to the Game Awards and I saw it win live. And
you're like,
And then I went to Burger King and I got one of those crowns. And then I scribbled out Burger King and I wrote Elden Lord on it.
Because you have survived. You are.
So now I have a Burger King crown that says Elden Lord in my office.
I had a friend who played this game, and he told me how hard it was, and I decided not to cry and be frustrated with games. So
It was very frustrating.
I decided not to play because it's open world, right?
It is.
And you, depending on where you go, is how hard it is. And they don't tell you that information.
They don't tell you a lot. Well, they do tell you, like in this manga, the guy will tell you to follow the light of your save points. And there's like an expected way, I feel like, to do things, like going to Stormveil Castle should be your first. But you don't have to go to Stormveil Castle first. You could go to Rael Lucaria, which is the wizard place. Actually, I don't know if you can go to
Yeah.
You go to Caelid, which sucks.
My friend was like, if you're going to play this game, do the walkthrough because it'll tell you where to go. Of course, he plays games on hard on purpose, so...
This doesn't have a difficulty system.
Yes, but that's purposely
What
chooses
sucks-
the hard levels.
I played with somebody for a lot of it, and if you're playing with somebody, you're open for attack from other players. Like, other players can invade you and then just kill you and ruin your day.
No,
and I lost faith in humanity so fast, because that happens a lot in the
That's
first
why I didn't
level.
want to play 76 Fallout, because I was like, they're just going to explode you
But
and
what
take your stuff.
got my humanity back was they can also help you on boss fights. They have little shrine things, and you can like summon people, and they are your companion that you can go into boss fights with, and they'll help you with them. So I had that happen with the really hard boss fight everyone probably knows, Melina. Melania? I think it's Melania. And I did it with the same lady. We kept summoning her and summoning her and summoning her because I kept dying. And we did it like 37 times because I counted, because you can tell how many if you have the like summon thing. And finally we did it, and it was so exciting. Up to you. It's a hard game. I mean, the lore is confusing. Half the stuff in this manga that they talk about, which is the actual lore, doesn't get brought up until way later in the game, and I still didn't know stuff. So if you want to know what's happening, this manga is actually good to read, like, while you're playing it, or instead of playing and suffering through this entire game.
And if you have never played Elden Ring like me, then this book actually was still pretty entertaining and easy to follow. So there was stuff that I didn't get because it's like a wink, wink, nod, nod thing. But I found it to be funny, and it's definitely satirical. So don't go in thinking it's going to be serious, because you'll be disappointed. This is also on archive.org is where I read it.
I found out that this is online via the video game library website. Shout out to them, who archive all of the video game novels out there. And there's like a button on everyone that tells you where you can buy it and where you can read it. And it's very handy, and I use it all the time. Well, that's how I used it to find the digital version of this manga, which I already bought. So
we have the book, and then
also there's people that read this online if you want to look it up.
It was nice to have large and in charge, because the artwork is really nice. I enjoyed it. Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, we're gonna spoil the whole book, but also I guess the first beginning. It's not gonna spoil like anything in Elden Ring. I gotta be real with you.
Yeah. This is volume 1, so it is 9 chapters. And then how much of the game do you feel like this? What percentage of the game does this volume cover? Do you think
2%?
2%.
Very small amount. If you started the game, I think I got this far before I quit the first time, because I did quit, and then I played it again.
I'm going to finish this.
I played it again, and I decided to do the magic build, which actually did pay off at the end of the day. But this is about as far as I got when I first played, so I don't think you're missing much.
All right, here we go.
I like that chapter 1 is called "You Thought This Be Serious, Didn't You?"
Yes.
Haha, joke's on you, sucker.
You thought this be serious. I don't think I've ever seen that contraction.
Is it like supposed to be like Old English? Like,
it's this
ye
would.
tarnished, you thought this to be serious, didn't you?
We get some backstory about the Great Elden Ring was shattered.
It's the intro to the game, but it's in a colorized, very nice.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The Great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home across the fog, the land between. So I have to say, it's been a while since I've read manga, and I forgot that you have to read it from right to left. And so it took me like a hot minute because I've read several comic books and graphic novels in between my last manga readings, and so it took me a hot minute to be like, where do I start? Now, Queen, is it Marika? Marika. The Eternal is nowhere to be found.
And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring.
I've got another page. I have the mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. Am I missing pages?
No, you just read it wrong.
Oh no, sorry. That's a larger page. What else did I miss?
I mean, I don't think anything else does that. But we'll find out, I guess.
A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Arise now, ye tarnished, ye dead, who yet live. The call of the long-lost grace speaks to us all.
Okay, well, I just not read the whole freaking Elden Ring intro.
Hurrah! I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there's a person who is...
You're a tarnished of no renown, which is you. Across the fog to the lands
What's going on with the Wolfman?
What? Oh. You know, he's just... You'll fight him sometime.
Okay, so later. I'm getting random images. There's a lady with like a blanket.
Yeah, the deathbed companion. You'll meet all these people.
And there's a dung eater. That was gross.
Oh yeah, he sucks. He steals your soul out of your butt.
I feel like there was something else. You
can get an ending with him where you side with him and like the world is destroyed. So yeah, okay. So we meet our character here. He is wearing what is it called?
He's wearing bikini bottoms.
Yeah, it's when you do the hard mode of the game and you start with no clothes and a club.
He's got underclothes on, which these are also not historically accurate, but it literally looks like a woman's bikini bottom, and one of it's untied too.
I think it might be wretch. Yeah, it's a wretch. So he's a wretch. Start with a club, and
you have a lady with a horse, and the guy is face down with his hands like pointed out.
Mm-hmm. You can just hear the little like ding.
And he's got like a baseball bat. I don't know why it's a club.
It's a club. That's what it is.
But it looks like a baseball bat.
And so the lady / Melina, we'll find out, is talking to the horse, aka Torrent, and she's like, "Are you sure that this is the one?
Is this a horse or is this a cow or is this one of those weird?
It's one of those weird hybrids.
Okay. Because it looks like a cow, but it has a saddle."
That's what you write throughout the game to get through the big open world. All right, so she's like, "Are you sure, Torrent?" And Torrent's like, that's my horse impression will be like it. So she's like, "All right." So she decides she's gonna go heal this guy with 2 bottles.
And describes him as an underwear mannequin someone threw out, which is an appropriate description.
Yeah, it is what he looks like, face down.
And so did she just put the things next to him? Because then we get an up close of his butt.
No, she definitely puts them on his butt.
Like cupping?
Yeah.
So they're like cupped to his butt.
Yeah, she cups him she cups him in the butt. And so he is awake and he is trying to lift open the heavy doors, which is making fun of the fact that in the game you do have to like bottom up lift open doors, which is stupid. Why would
that's be made a lot like of that? Like that was in The Last of Us and it's in Uncharted as well, where those just look heavy, and I appreciate when they put in the extra like, I'm gonna hold this and go under, and then we're just gonna drop it because they're super
like, why would you make, is that a thing that people made back then?
I guess temple doors, but
don't you usually have like a crank to open the door?
Yeah.
Is it just if you don't have a crank? Yeah, something. Because imagine having to lift open a door and then do what this guy did, which is do a roll to like not get crushed by the door. So he talks about what happens at the beginning of the game, which is you spawn in and you get attacked by a giant spider-looking being, this one kicked him off the map, but
But he doesn't remember anything, though.
It could also kill you.
And then he
says some kind of huge spider thing showed up. Let's see, I remember a weird light all around me. Then I was in a kind of church with a huge spider thing.
And then he clinks on the ground because the things are still attached to his butt.
Yeah, things are attached to his butt.
Who did this while I passed out? Sticking bottles to my ass. Is this cupping therapy?
Yeah, he like face palms and sits down and clinks on the ground.
Then we see a person with a white mask.
Yep.
Excuse me.
So white mask,
and 2 different colored gloves.
Which is the first person you run into, and he's the one who's like, "Oh, you're maidenless. You're going to die. You see that pit over there? Go." Actually, you know what's funny? When this game first came out, this guy was like, "You see that pit over there? Just go die in it, because you're gonna be hopeless." And they took that line out because they thought it was too mean. Oh. At least I heard somebody say that once, because he has a different line now.
No suicide.
So obviously our boy here gets mad at him and starts swinging.
You explain the issue with being maidenless to me.
You have to.
I know you get the lady who changes your runes for intelligence later.
Yeah, the lady that levels you up.
Yeah.
You need a maiden to get into the final boss, basically.
So you can go the whole time without a maiden?
I think you need the maiden for certain things.
Do you have the same maiden the whole time? Or do you get, like, different ladies?
I think you can get different ladies, but you have one, like, assigned to you. Yours actually is dead. You can find her in the map somewhere when you got attacked by that spider.
Oh, so you started with a maiden, but you lost her.
You lost her. That's why Melina has to be your new maiden. I don't know the lore exactly. Don't get too mad at me. I'm just going off of what I've learned.
Then there's a little flame thing, and he asks, "Are you familiar with grace? That's the golden light that gives life to you, Tarnished." And he's like, "Follow that."
That's your save points, and also your little, like...
It reminds me of the eye from Sauron's eye from the Lord of the Rings. It's just kind of floating. It's like a portal, like a rip in the time-space continuum.
It's like it's like those little wisps in games that tell you where to go. They're like, "Follow me," and then they go that way. That's essential. That's what they're for. So yeah, White Mask Vare is like, follow the little gold things and also go to Stormveil Castle.
That is the guidance of grace, the path that is a Tarnished must travel. And I guess not everyone can see it, and if you can see it,
if you give up searching for or becoming Elden Lord, then you can't see it anymore. So if you have hope in your heart that you can do it, which is what your player character does, and all of the other Tarnished that we just were talking about, who are all hanging out in the hold, all lost their ability to see it because they basically were like, "Fuck this."
He's like, "Follow it even if it leads you to your grave." And he's like, "What? Why would I follow that?" So at first he doesn't want to follow it. And then he tells him he has to go to Stormveil Castle,
home of the decrepit demigod Godrick the Grafted.
Which, at first I was like, grafted? Like, what does that mean? Like, I know what the word graft means. And you find out later. And I was like, oh, that is what that meant.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's kind of cool. I don't know. They made Godrick in this really goofy, which we'll find out later. He already was kind of goofy, to be honest. Nobody likes him.
Again... Not to go full Avatar here, but he reminds me of the crazy guy that's...
I don't know who you're talking about. Talking about the Earth guy?
Yeah, he's the Earth guy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what Godrick reminds me of.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, our boy, our main character, your player insert character here is like...
You are a mostly naked man with a top knot.
And bottled stuck to your ass.
So you're like, all right, have fun storming the castle.
And you're like, great, a castle. They might help me because I'm a poor boy. Nobody loves me.
Yoo-hoo! Could you give me a ride to the castle?
Yeah, there's the giant tree knights, which we all know, if you've played it, are scary.
And he gets yeeted. And then that brings us to Stormveil Castle. And we meet Godrick, who has 4 arms.
Probably has more than 4.
Showing. He has 4 arms showing.
What's funny
And
is
one has like painted nails. Definitely they look way too big for him.
well, they're not all his arms.
I don't know, but like that one is huge.
Yeah.
And then it's got one with like painted nails. So they almost look like, well, these 2 look the same.
So his servants are showing him the latest graftings. Quite the lineup this month, they'd say. There's one that's called Leaves and Bounds, Tender Love, Bring It On. It's just a crab
With
hand
like
with
chicken
with
legs.
chicken legs. I think that one's my fave. But he's like, aren't they all like blah? Lately it seems like, like quantity over quality.
So grafting, for those of you that may not be familiar, is a gardening technique that if you want to like cross-pollinate, or let's say you want to have a tree with like different types of fruit on it, you cut the tree and then you attach a branch from another tree to it and then bind it, and then those grow together, and then you have a tree that will have multiple types of fruit on it. He's grafting people and limbs.
Yep.
So he's combining limbs to statues and to himself.
Yeah.
But his limbs work, so
It's magic. So anyway, the people have to go make something more trendy, something that'll turn heads in the capital, So he's sending them out to go graft more people, I guess. Get more people for grafting.
And then they say, we will all be grafted. We're dead for real. We have finally outlived our usefulness. So they think that they're just going to be grafted to him.
Yeah. And he asked to bring the next Tarnished back alive, which we all know is our boy.
Dun, dun, dun. And
our guy is at his save point campfire. Finally got the balls off his ass, so
but he's still got the markings.
The lady in the cloak, Melina, shows up.
And this is where he gets his name.
She's about to offer him a cord.
Melina. And then at the end of so this is the end of chapter 1. And then at the end of chapter 1, there's like some fun facts. And this one talks about the flask of crimson tears and the flask of cerulean tears. These sacred flasks, which restore HP and FP, respectively, are essential to survive in the lands between. Also awakened in the stranded graveyard with Aseo, awakened in the stranded graveyard with his stuck to his backside.
It says that note sacred flasks are not meant to go in the buttocks, but you do drink the liquid in them, so...
But then she'll also put them back on his buttocks.
It doesn't make sense to put them on his butt.
But this is where the jokes are.
So it's okay.
And it definitely made me laugh because it was uncomfortable. Reading this in public, I would have been like, what?
Like, after each chapter, they give you, like, a description of items in the game, which is very handy and nice. And I do like that.
And that brings us to chapter 2, which is about Melina, and this is the likely maiden. And they talk about their accord. So they're going to make an agreement because he is maidenless and she needs him to do things. Although he's not very good at it, so this is like a one-sided accord.
Yeah, so they bicker, him being like, I don't get it.
Also, what is the thing about there's no cats?
I don't know. He just wants to see cats, I guess, and there's no cats.
I didn't know if that was like a nod, because in like there's certain games, like definitely Assassin's Creed, there's a crap ton of cats everywhere. So
I mean, I don't think I saw any cats, but like I wasn't looking for them, so I don't know what the joke is.
Then there's the joke. He's like, I don't know what she wants from me unless she wants used underpants.
She's trying to explain to him the lore of the game, basically, with the finger maidens, the 2 fingers, which you don't have to worry about that in this manga. It does not come up, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, but he's just confused. I was also
That's
kind of
fair.
confused. There are, I don't know if this is supposed to, I guess it is, because Martin helped write this, right?
We don't know what
because there
George R. Martin did here. We're assuming he just did world building.
Because that is also in Lord Lord of the Rings. That is also in the Game of Thrones.
Don't give him so much credit.
But yeah, so I mean, you get like the fingers and like the little finger, and like that is, I feel like that is
The two fingers are the religious thing. Also, when I went to Burger King get that crown, I got the chicken fingers.
Oh.
The two fingers. Anyway, yeah, they're like the religious thing, and they're actually like hands that are coming out of the ground, and you have to get. You talk to them? Well, you can't talk to them because the finger maidens interpret them. Mm-hmm. It's a whole thing. It doesn't matter for this manga, so don't even worry about it. Anyway, she's going to help him level up and get stronger if he gives her runes, which you get from defeating enemies. She explains it in very gamey ways, and he's like, don't break that fourth wall.
Yeah, because she's tired of his shit already, but she also, like, he asks for certain things to be upgraded, and she's like, you need intelligence.
So she just upgrades his intelligence. And he wants a strength build, but that's too bad.
Mm-hmm. And some pants.
I can't imagine if playing the game and she just decided what I should be. I'd be so mad. I'd be like,
you really sucked at this part.
Yeah, so your dodge really sucks, so dexterity for you. So yeah, she describes, she needs to find her purpose. Something about her mom searching for something. She gives our boy Torrent, decides to name him Aseo because Tarnished are also known as Asabito.
And she tells him he has to enter Stormveil Castle.
Stormveil Castle.
Stormveil. And he's like, last time I got poked in the butt, see? And then he throws like a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what to do.
And then she vanishes.
Apparently he was not understanding things, but then she upgraded his intelligence and now he understands.
Now he gets it. So he decides to take Torrent the next day and seek revenge on that tree knight. They're called something specific, but the giant knight that pushed him off into the distance.
So when he gets a ring to call the
a little whistle ring.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He basically just like goes up to the knight and is like, chase me, and then he just jumps around and runs
because he can see what's happening before. Now that he has intelligence, he can plan things out.
But then he runs into Vare, White Mask Vare again, who is gardening.
He's got a cart worth a bunch of food, which then stops the cow horse.
Yep, stops the cow horse, and he's like, oh, you should buy some Roa raisins. Horses love them. And then he took too long, and the knight caught up to him and smacked him into oblivion.
He got yeeted again.
So that's really what happens.
And so our hero's journey to the Erdtree begins.
Now it's time for Patches. It's the name of chapter 3, and if you know, you know. So Patches is a character that's in, like, I think every Dark Souls game, where he's just kind of this bald guy who squats, and he's kind of a dick, and he pushes you into pits. That's his thing. That's his whole thing.
He's got no hair on his face, and he's shiny, and Aseo makes fun of him for it.
Yeah. So Aseo decides to join Patches' bandit gang, which is not what you do in the main game. In the main game, how you find Patches is you kind of go into a cave, and then his goons like attack you, and then you kill them, and then you fight him, and then when he's almost dead, he's like, no, I give up. I'm sorry. He's like, you can buy stuff from me now. So
at first I thought he was like under arrest because his hands are behind his back, Aseo is. And but he's like, yes, sir, brother Patches. It took me a moment to figure out what was going on. But they are stealing from merchants, and Aseo has not met his quota.
He's not doing a very good job. Patches is not impressed. They make a joke about how many scale figures of Queen Marika are around. So that's a pretty good bit. I like that. So yeah, he's going back to work. He's basically a slave for Patches' bandit gang as he walks around trying to find stuff. Melina shows up and she's like, WTF are you doing? Why are you in a bandit group? This is not what I asked. I asked you to to go to Stormveil Castle.
And he calls her Melly, which she is not. She's like, no.
I should have thought about that. Because honestly, in the beginning of this game, before people said their name, I was like, I don't know how to say that. I don't know what their name is.
Melly.
Because there's like Melina, there's like Melania, there's so many names. Marika. Oh, she's like, I'll boost your intelligence more. And he's like, intelligence is stupid. And she's like, no, intelligence is really important. It boosts your thinking and judgment so you can anticipate your foe's movements and win more easily. And he's like, oh my god, I never thought about that.
Then he is going to rob a merchant.
He does not rob the merchant. He's very nice to the merchant.
He's like, oh, there's bandits out here.
Better be careful. And this merchant's really nice.
They're at the Church of Ellie.
This merchant is really nice. He's like the first merchant you run into in the game. But Patches sees him not robbing this merchant and being nice to him, and
he's like, we're here to... Thank you for distracting him. We're here to rob him. You thought you'd mess with Patches, eh? Better brace yourself, punk.
So he basically, like, kicks him out of the group.
Well, he's like... Aseo's like, I can't do this. I'm like, I can't rob people. Please let me out. Please. And he's like, go on, get on.
Get out of here, you.
I knew from the start you just weren't on the same wavelength. So he just like...
He's like, go check out that chest over there and grab some clothes. You can't be naked forever.
Yeah, grab some pants.
But it's one of those chests that transport you, which does happen in the game.
It's a port key.
Yeah, it transports you to different parts of the map, which sucks. I definitely got tricked and transported to Caelid, which is the really gross area of the map, super early, and I was not equipped to be there. So I feel Aseo's pain here, because he gets teleported to the
bear.
Woods.
With interesting...
swirlies
on his chest.
Yeah, these bears are scary. It was really nice to go back when I was super beefy and kill the hell out of these bears because they suck. Anyway, so he's in the woods. He's about to get attacked by a bear, and this is the first time we see Ranni, who is just kind of
She's got like two faces.
Yeah. So she's actually in a doll's body. That's the thing.
She's got like
she's in like a doll body.
She's witchy.
I think this is like her actual form, and she's like the soul in a doll kind of thing. I don't know. So yeah, she's watching all this go down and being like, interesting. Okay.
And then this was my favorite at the end of the chapter because it talks about the glass shards. Glass shards covered in dirt. One might be tempted to think it would come in handy eventually, but one would be mistaken. Essentially worthless. It's like all the crap you pick up in games that you sell at merchants, but really they just take up space and allow you not to carry more things. And then...
Aseo takes very good care of his glass shards.
This might be worth something someday. Chapter 4!
Fluffy fur ahead.
Aseo is riding, or I should say not riding. He's like leaning on top of Torrent. Oh crap, a bear. Last time on the road to
so
the
I'm
Erdtree.
Guessing
oh
like,
crap, a bear.
Torrent got him out of there, but like he healed himself by strapping the two things on his butt again.
Hey, you over there, what happened to you?
The merchant shows up to see if he's all right and gives him a crafting kit for free, which he does do in the game. But then there's a catch.
He's like, how do I use this?
You have to buy a good book.
For just 500 I wrote it down.
Runes.
Yeah, 500 runes you get the Nordic cookbook, but I'll let you have it for free if you do this side quest for me.
Yeah, so he's friends with, the merchant is friends with Blaidd.
His name is Blaidd. B-L-A-I-D-D.
I thought it was Blaidd. Blaidd.
That's D-D then.
I know, but like, they say it's stupid. I mean, I might be wrong.
Maybe they got a little bit of an accent.
Blaidd. Maybe it's just Blaidd. That'd be so stupid and edgy. This is my persona, Blaidd.
I was like, why are there two D's? That was my question.
Blaidd.
So he's got to deliver a message.
Yeah, and so he tells him when he hears a howl to snap. And I think we all did this when we played the game. When we went into the woods and we were like, I'm not 100% sure if this is the area I need to be at, so I'm just going to constantly snap until that happens.
What if the sound attracts bears? And then we see this, like, badass wolf
Yeah,
man?
this giant wolf man in armor. The wolf knight.
I didn't think it'd literally be a wolf. And then there's a giant bear.
It's with Blaidd here, just takes him out, no problem. And our boy Aseo is like, I'm on an errand for Kale. Kale. I call him Kale.
Because it's Kale, but there's a little
it's Kale
thing above it. Kale. Cully? Blaidd.
Blaidd. He's looking for a man that goes by Dariel.
And so he's like, oh, I'm on an errand. Here's for you. And it's a map. But Blaidd can't read a map and he's holding it the wrong way. So he is going to need Aseo to take him to the spot that's marked on the map because he is worthless.
I mean, I don't think this happens, but you do see him like everywhere you go. So maybe he does get lost all the time.
But it's also funny to the point of where you, in any game, right, you're doing all these side quests for people and they are worthless. They are, you have to do everything for everyone because they cannot do anything. This guy is really good at fighting, but can't read a simple map.
Can't read a map. He gets attacked by wolves and he's like, they're not attacking me. They're just wanting to play. So Aseo has to throw a stick, but Blaidd follows because he is a dog man.
Mm-hmm. They're like eating him. He's like, oh, they're just playing. And he's like, the fangs are buried in your arm.
Yeah, they're trying to chew through your neck, dude. Like,
and then what does he he throws like a bone.
He throws a bone, yeah. And then Blaidd drops something, which we'll later find out is Ranni, like the doll of Ranni.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, you can see it in the little image.
Because they
on page 81.
That's mine. I dropped it, and then thanks for finding it, friend. And he's like, "What is it? Looks kind of weird." And then silence, and then it's like,
I'm gonna kill you if you say that to me again.
Yeah, it was a little over the top. Like, get off the roids, dude.
Well, he's like part of the Ranni religious fan club,
which
right?
we find out later. But
yeah.
Having not known any of this at this part of the story, I was like, what is that? This guy is unstable. So they're at the southernmost tip of the Limgrave West. There are these like caterpillars.
Yeah, they're rock caterpillars. They're pretty cool.
And then there's this like circle thing.
Okay, I hate these stupid things because this is where you meet those knights.
Gold?
Those freaking knights. And they're so hard. What are they called? I hate them so much. And they kept showing up.
Knights of the Round Circle. If it's round circle. Well, it's Evergold.
They're Crucible Knights, and I hate them. And they're like, you have to go into the Crucible Knight hole because once you go on top of the circle, you teleport to a different area. You can't bring anyone to help you, including your friends. So it's all you. And it's all about dodging. And as a magic
Crucible is a test.
As a magic build, it was rough, and they kept showing up. Because my one beef with Elden Ring is that they reuse enemies all the time, and it's kind of lazy. They've used this Crucible Knight so many times. Anyway, he's about to fight one.
So he's like, I'm about to head off. And he's like, but wait, you need to show me how to get home. I'm bad at directions. And so this then brings us to the end of the chapter where we learn about the crafting kit. It has a pestle and mortar, a small blade, various other necessary tools for crafting items. Anyone can use it to make the item of their own, no matter how meager their stats. Lucky for us. And now we are on chapter 5, Offer of Loyalty, which this was a weird chapter.
Why?
Because of the doll thing.
Oh.
And the fan club. So
she's more like a religious figure in a way, but they just switched it in this one to like a fan club.
Okay. We find Darwell, who is the Bloodhound Knight, and they're going to fight. And so Aseo is going to watch because maybe he'll learn something.
Yeah, Melina pops up and is like, yeah, you should watch this fight so you can learn how to fight.
But he can't make out anything that they're saying.
So she has to translate for him. She talks about Ranni, Princess of the Carian Estate, so-called witch and demigod to boot. Some say she was behind the Night of the Black Knives that killed Queen Marika and shattered the Elden Ring, which is lore that I didn't learn until 200 hours into the game.
Imagine you could have just read this book.
You should just read this book.
Would have known all.
Anyway.
What do you know of Ranni Kerr? So they're also arguing as they're fighting.
But what are they fighting about, Elise?
They are fighting over the fact that they had a fan club because Blaidd is like her bodyguard, and there's a doll that they have, and then Darwin was like, I have a better outfit for her. And Blaidd was like, shut your mouth. She's perfect as she is. That is blasphemy. And so they are fighting over this doll's outfit.
They're fighting over this doll's outfit, and Melina is so done translating.
See, Ranni is much, much cuter in this outfit I picked. Don't run from the truth, Blaidd.
It's like a cute witch outfit.
Which outfit did you prefer?
Honestly, I liked her. I'm with Blaidd's side. I like her scruffy other outfit.
I am team. What's his name? Darwell.
Why?
I like it's a better upgrade.
But it doesn't have a cool giant cape. Plus, I rocked this outfit for a long time in the game.
She's got a lot of petticoats, but her original dress is all like tattery and like patches. This one's cuter and
but it just looks like
pristine.
Alice in Wonderland. Like, who cares?
I thought it was better.
I don't.
But anyways,
I'll fight you over it.
So they used to be in a fan club together, and then Daryl's like, I could upgrade her outfit. And then that was a betrayal. And
they're fighting about it, and they both have their dolls.
And they try to make them decide. And Mari just gets she's like, I'm done with your shit.
Melina is so done with translating this, so she just smacks Dariel
with the baseball
bat.
Game over. And the prize is you get
a fan club crest.
Yeah.
Will you join? And he's like, no. I will not. And then Blaidd leaves.
We don't have to pronounce this. But he's going the wrong direction because he's directionless.
Yeah. So Aseo goes back to Kale, who is sleeping. And it is true that when you sleep in this church, or at least save by the save point, Ranni will show up and be like, can I talk to you about your horse?
He's like, a girl with 2 faces and 4 arms? Did she have 4 arms?
Yeah, she's supposed to have 4 arms.
Well, she's wearing a giant cape, so how does he see that she's got 4 arms?
Because you can see she has 2 on her lap and 2
Oh, she does.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was her outfit. She's got 4 arms.
That's her belt. It's just arms.
Then the little thing at the end of the chapter is about the crest, the Carian.
Which is a little pin that you can
crest.
wear in the game. It gives you like buffs and stuff.
It's been awarded to Carian knights who served as the direct retainer to the princess. It serves as an undeniable proof of the bearer's honor. Needless to say, it's extremely precious.
Chapter 6 called Try No.
No. You want a word? No. She says that her name is Renna and not Ranni. Lies.
She's the witch Renna. It's because Ronnie's so like nobody. It's tainted. It's don't want to sound bad. So she's like, yeah. I heard that there's a Tarnished out there on a spectral steed. Is that you? And he's like,
what?
No.
What are you talking about? He plays stupid. And she gets pissed.
Because he makes a really weird face.
She's like, call your freaking horse.
She's like, I don't know, what, a horse? What is that?
What an exasperating Tarnished.
And then she leaves without, she gives him like stuff for the horse.
Yeah, she has a bell and a box. And she broke the bell because she was so mad.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take these.
Corin's former master entrusted me with these. You're supposed to take it.
It can summon spirits from Ash unreturned to the Erdtree. But is it any spirit or is it these specific spirits that
you can have a bunch of different spirits?
Okay, because when they were called the spirits, I was like, that's...
The wolf is the first spirit that you get, and then you can get more spirits as the game goes on.
They will obey you, but briefly.
They're a way for you to play the game without having a second person play, but like still have help in fights. So yeah, he can now sick wolves on people.
And there's 3 of them, and she calls them on him. Oh, she says that she's Ranni the Witch. There are those who wish me harm. I try to hide my form. I move through the dark night of the depth of sleep. But that's not an option this time, so I used a fake name. The merchant is sleeping this whole time. You get little glimpses of him throughout.
Melina shows back up to be like, what the heck was that? What's going on?
So he brings up the doll. Because she's like, how do you know my name? And he's like, if I say your bodyguard had a doll that looked like you to save my skin, but only until Blaidd kills me for blabbing. And she's like, what?
Melina shows up and increases his vigor.
Oh, because he wants something else, and then she never does what he wants.
And says that he has bad breath.
Well, because the other lady says that he has bad breath, right?
Mm-hmm. Guess I can't really blame him, you know? It's what's he gonna do about it?
That's true.
But it's okay, because Melina has toothpaste on her. The picture at the end of the chapter is about this spirit calling bell. This bell, which summons various spirits from ashen remains, is bestowed by the witch Ranni, aka Ranni. Summoning spirits consumes FP. For those without sufficient mind stats, they aren't able to use it. Ranni dented it a bit when she slammed it down in anger.
Oh, at the end of the chapter, they found a Tarnished, so there's people like peeping on them. That was the... I do have some toothpaste with me. Will you split it with me?
We're on chapter 7, Seek Stormveil Castle. So he's just kind of mucking about with the wolves. He's using it to fight.
And he has named them Pochi, Shiru, and Taru.
Very Japanese.
And they are attacking bats.
He feels more confident now to go to Stormveil.
He still doesn't have any pants.
He still doesn't have any pants.
It's time to do it. Let's do it.
Time to go. On his way over, he runs into this lady crying in a cabin.
This lady was weird.
She is weird, but I like her a lot, actually, in the game. It's really sad. So she is basically given up on life because she went to Stormveil Castle with a bunch of companions who all ended up being grafted.
Well, so part of Aseo goes to the gates and there's no one there. He's like, what? There are just people here. And I was ready to fight them. And he gets all upset about it, but then he sees here's the lady crying. And yeah, all of her companions have been grafted and she's really sad. And she wants to be grafted too. Like, she's jealous.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess I'll just wait here until it's my turn to be grafted.
I think she tells you to, like, go say hi to them in the castle or whatever.
Tell them I'm waiting.
I forget her name, but she's important later. You'll see her again. She's just sad. Like, it's just a sad conversation.
And then she's like, yeah, we also met a guy in a white mask. And...
we told him to go to Stormveil Castle.
Mm-hmm. He told me so politely. And then he finds out about the spider. My companions were grafted. Their limbs were cut off and stuck to the hideous monster. So but the arms move, right?
Yeah.
But then the people are dead? Because then the arm then becomes part of the spider.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really know fully because as a Tarnished, when you die, you come back to life. That's the whole mechanic of the game. So if they're also Tarnished, is it their old limbs? Do they turn to dust? I don't know.
Are they just missing a limb?
Are they even tarnished? I don't even know.
Did they give up? Because another part of the spider?
Yeah, maybe. And so he tries to convince her not to throw her life away.
And then he talks about, he's like, I've been tricked this whole time by the guy in the mask.
She's like, no way, I've been tricked this whole time.
Then I got tricked by the lady who raised my intelligence. And then the Mr. Clean looking guy.
Mr. Clean looking guy. Clean up those patches.
He decides to go to the castle, tell them I love them, and despite my craven heart, I'm sure I'll join them soon enough. And so he's like, what a weird lady.
She helps upgrade your spirits later.
Yeah, he's giving himself a pep talk after this, and he's like, come on, Aseo, damn the consequences. I'm just gonna see how far I can go.
And that's when he runs into...
He walks into the castle, there's no one there.
There's no one there. God, I wish that were me. There are so many people on the way to the castle.
And then he hears a sound. He's like, oh, I thought I saw something. And then right in front of him jumps a giant man.
It's Margit, the Fell Omen.
Does he have like a tree coming out of his head? Are those like antlers?
I think they're like antlers.
Are those... And he's like 4 times the
he's
size of him. And he's like, well, I'm dead. And that's the end of that chapter.
It's the first boss that you really fight. I almost want to call him Margaret. I called him Margaret for like so long. Before I found out, I fought him like the 3rd time before I was like, oh my god, his name is Margit? That's crazy.
Margit.
He even says it, like when you fight him.
And that brings us to chapter 8. Praise the advice. We gotta go back a little bit because we are with Godrick and the gatekeeper Gostock.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
We've reduced security to lure them in, but only 3 have taken the bait. Because he needs the Tarnished. So lure them into the courtyard and capture them. And yes, my lord. There's the palm reading.
Oh.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
So he's like, you're in good spirits. What's up with you? And he's like, check this out. Palm reading is so hot in the capital these days. I had mine done. It's going to be like a super good month. And he's like, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can choose which one he wants.
Do you think you get all of them read and then just pick the best one?
Yeah, it's like, don't tell me bad news.
I've never. Okay, so back to Aseo and are you talking? What do you want to talk about? Okay, I was talking about back to Aseo and Margit over here, where he's like, I've never met somebody with vibes like this. Is what Aseo was saying about Margit.
Crap.
Definitely can't take a joke, so I'm done for. So he summons his wolves, and the wolves just kind of stare at him, at Margit.
And then they go back in the box.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not playing.
They're not dealing with this.
We ain't playing. It's like a boop about face. And so he's like yelling at the box and like ringing the bell, and he does a little flip thingy and is like, I've got no choice.
He's like, okay, I'm ready to die.
He lies down. He's like, are you even gonna try?
He's like, nope, I'm dead anyway.
And then he's like, well, then he hits the ground right next to him. And he's like, whoa, what? Thou art prepared to die? Foolish.
Cherish your life, man. Warrior's blood runs in thy veins, Tarnished. Don't give up so easily. And
at least have some ambition.
Yeah, oh my god, have some ambition. Try to find the Elden Ring at least.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Tarnished these days, always quibbling. I can't stand it. You never reach Londondale like that, young man. You won't last a minute past me.
Woof.
Then he gives them all like, all right, this is what you gotta do. You're not ready to fight me. So you're gonna need to go see this troll, see? And he's like, and attack him, because then you're gonna need ruins, because then you gotta upgrade. And he's like, well, how do I beat that troll? And he's like, well, this is what you gotta do.
Gives him very nice advice.
And he even gives him part of his cloak.
Yeah, so now he's a little bit more clothed.
And he gives him a mountain.
Give him a long sword. And then when he disappears after being like, okay, have a nice evening, go do that.
Then come back, we'll have a rematch.
And it says, and a great enemy fell, like when you beat an enemy. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And so he just runs ahead. And then Margit shows back up and he's like, oh, I've been seen. And he's like, no, wait, I forgot to give you this. It's a talisman pouch. So you can hold more talismans. All right, bye. So Aseo just kind of is like, okay, and then runs towards Stormveil Castle's main gate.
And then, psst, hey you. Right, this way, if you will.
I wouldn't advise against taking the main gate.
And would you advise against taking the main gate?
Okay, so this does give you a choice. This guy is like, I'm a friend of the Tarnished. If you go this way, it'll be easier to get into the castle.
He's got like a woodstock thing on his chest, like a lock or whatever, where you put your hands through.
Go right, I would
50 meters.
Advise going straight and not listening to this guy. The only benefit to listening to this guy
is creepy as hell looking, by the way.
And going around, he has a store, which is nice.
He's got like no eyes, like this blackness, but he's got like nice teeth. But it just makes it creepier because he has no lips.
They're kind of like undead looking, like lanky creatures.
Yeah.
Anyway, I advise going through the front gate to make it easier for yourself. But if you go around and do the side step, you get more enemies, which means you get more runes, means you can level up faster. So pick your poison. You'll get to fight more. You'll get more items. But when you leave the castle, it's like a quicker in and out if you go through the front gate.
So now we met the guy, and this brings us to our last chapter, which could this be a friend? Here, take this. Godrick Bran soap.
Stormveil scented. I wonder what Stormveil would smell like.
What do you think it would smell like? Because I don't think it's going to smell great.
No, it's probably going to smell like
rust.
Rust and blood and
moss.
BO from all the armpits.
Probably like the copper of blood because you're cutting off.
Yeah, it's going to smell kind of sharp and stinky.
Well, it's like rock. What does rock smell like? Because remember what
I think they talk about the soap at like
At the
at the
end,
end.
he asked, what would it smell like? Because so he's got all this soap and he's behind because he's got like a weird outfit too. Enjoy the handmade soap free of charge because he made a deal with Mr. Clean, and so
What? You mean Patches?
yeah,
Does he talk about Patches in
yeah.
this? Okay. So he's like, here, you can get the soap for free if you take my secret side path. And he's like, I haven't decided if I'm going to take your secret side path yet. Don't just give me the soap.
He says, this guy Patches talked me into selling his Stormveil souvenirs. I'm way in the red. I never should have bought in. Brother Patches really gets around. I was like, oh. And so he wants Godrick to die. So he's like, trust me. And he's like, sure, I'll take this route. And so he finally leaves him and he's like, sucker, idiot.
But he's so weird because he wants Godrick to die, but he is still tricking you to go through the side, and he's doing that in game too, because there is a section which we'll see. Well, actually, we'll get to that, where he pushes you into a room filled with I think it's like another Crucible Knight or something like that. That you have to fight in a tiny room. So he wants you to die, but he also wants Godrick to die. So this guy, I don't know. I don't know what he wants.
As you're having this conversation, you're being watched by a person in a wizard hat.
By a man, a big hat. Mm-hmm. Giant hat.
Got a
Roger.
Gandalf hat.
I love the big hats in this game. Big fan of big wizard hat. So he actually goes around the side and he runs into these dudes.
Well, because he's like, haha.
And he's like, gatekeepers, Gostock said to enter the castle this way. And the guy's like, oh, follow us then. Which, man, I wish that actually happened.
Yeah, he's like, people don't usually we have to trick them in here. And so he's like, I'm gonna escape. But then he never escapes. Because he thinks he's being smart, but he's not. And then he gets locked into the room. I ended up getting trapped in here after all. Man, I'm dumb. And then he gets a visitor.
There's someone on the ceiling, and it is
Roger,
the sorcerer, who manages to help him escape in a way. Is Roger also trapped in that room?
No, because he was watching them, but
he's like, he comes in through the
there was something
roof?
on the ceiling, is what he says. Yeah, and then he gets them out. They're in an empty room.
Roger's also a Tarnished.
He's like, oh, they told me that there was other people in here. So he is going to help them. He's like, why don't you just use magic? He's like, silly. I have these rapiers.
But then he's like, we're gonna climb down the castle using my spectral blades.
Because a knight comes in.
Oh, no, the guards come in.
Yeah.
He talks about the round table hold. Roger does. That's the place you go to meet all the other Tarnished.
Okay.
It's like your little safe zone.
And he's like, you would be welcome there.
Yeah.
I was like, really? And he's like, come on, follow me down. And he's like, I don't have those rapiers. Well, it doesn't matter because Rogier fell to his death.
Yeah, so he's gonna use his magic, which is summoning the spectral blades, which in the game, it summons these magical blue blades that fly around you. And when people get too close to you, it stabs them. So he summons those and he's like, okay, we're gonna go down the side of the cliff with my magical blades.
They're
and
in the moat of the castle or something like that.
And then he realizes these are magical see-through blades that
don't stick in stone.
Do not stick. So he just flew right down into the moat.
And then we see Godrick, and he's pulling up limbs? Hands and limbs and stuff, but he's gardening. Pulling weeds?
Oh, he's pulling weeds.
Out in the graveyard.
So they tricked you.
I hope they catch those Tarnished soon.
They thought he was They tried to make him gross, but also a little cutie with twirling hair and being like, hee hee tee hee hee. It's me, Godrick.
I'm just gardening. And then we get the soap.
Just gardening.
A useful item for cleaning off all kinds of stains, from poison swamp monk to oil to the blood of one's enemy. Filth covering the exterior eventually seeps inside, soiling one's every spirit. To be sure to stay squeaky clean while you're adventuring. And then it has a picture of Aseo sniffing it. And what kind of fragrance is Stormveil scented anyway?
Blood, iron, and armpits.
Yes. And then we have next, a decisive battle. Well, now, hide and seek was fun, but playtime is over. Now it's grafting time. And then you're gonna find new allies,
fight
new
the
foes,
Spartan.
and Godrick has a mournful past. And that's gotta be volume 2 coming soon.
Which is already out, I think. I think we're on volume 3 or 4 by now.
So what did you give
I'd
Elden
also give it 4 stars. I think it's pretty good.
I gave it 4 stars. I read it in a day. It's pretty short. And I thought it was funny, and I'd never played Elden Ring, and there's a couple of things that you missed, but other than that, like...
You're getting the gist of Elden Ring's plot, which is incredible because it's so convoluted.
So,
and
would
all
you
over the
suggest
place.
reading this before you play the game?
If you're gonna play the game, I'd read this at the same time. Because I think this could spoil some things for you, which would be cool on its own. So, like, by the time you're about to fight Godrick, I would read this.
Okay.
As a supplemental thing.
You're like, let me pause my game.
Yeah.
Find out all the things I missed.
I think you can read this instead of playing the game, and you'd
Which
be
is
fine.
what I did.
You'd be totally fine. I do think it would spoil a little bit for you that I think would be cool. Like, you know, seeing the Wolfman for the first time or realizing that that side path was a trap. You could not know that. And that could be kind of cool on its own. So, up to you, but that's my suggestion. Supplemental material that skipped a lot of things that you do kind of early in Limgrave and some characters like Bach, who is this little seamster rat man who helps you like fix your outfit. He's kind of important and you run into him early on. I don't know if he's showing up in the other mangas or not, but leaves some more stuff for you to see, I guess.
Interesting.
If you go play the game.
So that is Elden Ring Volume 1.
Maybe someday we'll read the other ones.
Actually, I would be interested to read the other ones.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Sounds
Next month, we are diving into the world of Alan Wake.
By who?
I forgot.
By Alan Wake.
By Stephen King. Just kidding.
Just kidding. It's the novelization of Alan Wake by Rick Burroughs.
Burroughs.
By Rick Burroughs.
Rick Burroughs.
So in honor of Alan Wake 2 coming out.
And Alan Wake Remastered was on one of the PlayStation Plus games.
Yeah, that
not
came out like
long ago.
last year or something.
Yeah.
To get ready for the new one. Ooh.
All right, see you next time.
Bye.